Hi guys, and welcome back to Fine Foods Food Review. It's the only place on YouTube where you can see me eating food. And today we've got a very special meal because I'm eating a new noodle that I've never had before. And usually we go for something that's maybe Japanese or Chinese, but today we're going for something very different, and that is going to be a Korean oyster jambon ramen. Now, this traditional South Korean meal was made famous by the film Train to Busan, where there's a bunch of people on this train and then they get attacked by these things called zombies. And from what I have gathered from watching the film a couple of times, is that zombies are like a Korean version of zombies. And anyway, I'm digressing a little bit, so I think we should get back on track and go back into reviewing this oyster jambon ramen. And straight off the bat, it looks like a very nice meal, and I'll splice in a little bit of footage of how it looks because I don't want to tip this up and spill it all over my counter. So let's just go right ahead and I can start eating this jambon oyster ramen. And as far as I'm aware, jambon is a like a Korean noodle soup. It's like mainly seafood, I want to say, but I'm not sure. Judging by the oyster in this, I would assume that it's mainly a seafood soup. So let's go right ahead and take a first bite of this oyster jambon ramen. Wow. Now, that's very different to jambon that I've had before. Right off the bat, very spicy, quite a nice sort of slimy, sticky noodle that really replicates the texture of an oyster, and the flavor is really forward. It really tastes like I just bit into an oyster. Well, maybe not bite because you'd break your teeth on the shell, but slurped one down. So I'm going to go in for a second bite and even take a little sip of the soup. Now, it's not often that I use this word on the Fine Foods channel, but fuck, that's a really good bowl of noodles. I honestly just don't want to stop eating it. The spice is really nice, but it's not so much that it hurts. Just a nice little bit of extra dimension in the flavor palette. The oyster flavor is really spot on. I've eaten a lot of oysters in my time, and I think this is the most authentic replication of an oyster that I've ever had. Usually with seafood noodles, it just tends to taste like generic seafood flavor, like the fake crab sticks. But this really pops with oyster in it. Really smells like I'm walking down the beach in I don't know, some coastal city where it has the sea right next to it. So I'm gonna go in for a final bite because I really can't stop eating this, and I'll give it a numerical, empirical, scientific rating. Noodle texture is just so good. It's like almost creamy. Absolutely wonderful. So I think these might be some of the best noodles that I've had in a long time. I'm usually more of a dry noodle fan. I like a good jjajangmyeon. I like a good buldak noodle. But here the soup really gets absorbed into the noodle, so it becomes this like really thick sauce. And I'm sure maybe I should have used more water and had it more of a soup fronted noodle. But in this state where it is just a really thick coating, it works beautifully. So maybe I'll give this another review and use more water to make it more of a soup based ramen instead of the thicker sauce that I have going on here. But I've got to say, this is really, really fantastic. So I am giving it a sort of 10 out of 10. I think this is something that I'm definitely going to try again. It might become my noodle of choice for a while because it's really something special. So thank you so much to South Korea for inventing this. Thank you so much to Oysters for getting into this meal and getting into my mouth. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. So thank you so much for watching. I've been Fine Foods Food Review, the only place on YouTube where you can see me eating food, and you have been the audience watching my video. So now all you have to do is hit the like button and hit the comment button and type out a comment and press comment, and then you can even share it with your friends and tell them about this oyster jambon ramen. So it's goodbye from me, goodbye, and it's goodbye from these oyster noodles. Goodbye.